Despite trying to sound confident, hope is playing a huge part in Abe's plans that the economy will save him. Jasper Lawler, CMC Markets. Jasper, data earlier today showed despite an increase in spending, the Japanese economy continues to falter. However, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said he will introduce new economic stimulus measures in May. The kitchen sink approach continues, but will it have the desired effect?
Well, I am very sceptical as to whether this is the right approach for Japan. I mean, one statistic that is probably more worrying than any is that the government debt to GDP ratio in Japan is 230%. It really can't afford to be adding more government stimulus at a time, and really it needs to be reining it back just in case there is another financial crisis and Japan needs to protect itself. And if you just look at the inflation numbers, really this measure hasn't worked so far. I mean, we're looking at 0.3% annual inflation, and that's 3 years after the government have introduced a massive quantitative easing program.
When asked about the tax hike, Abe said, as I repeatedly mentioned, I will raise the tax as planned, unless Japan faces a serious situation like another global financial crisis or earthquake. It almost seems Abe is willing a crisis to allow his policy to come to the rescue. Are you as optimistic as he seems to be?
Well, I suspect that hope is playing a large part in Mr. Abe's strategy here. It's still a year or so away from when these tax hikes would actually have to take place, and so I think he's hoping that the new measures, especially if they are rammed up a bit, that actually some inflation can trickle through, and that the economy will save him. But I think, having said that, he probably knows, even though his statements sound very confident right now, should the situation need it, I would suspect that maybe it wouldn't even require a financial crisis just for him to backtrack and say, well, things have changed in the space of a year, and we have to reconsider our position here and actually choose again to delay these tax hikes, which are pretty detrimental to his efforts to get the economy going again.
Some analysts are saying the dollar-yen should be above 120, and that's what markets need to see. On the dollar side, participants are waiting for Yellen's testimony this evening. Do you think we will see these levels anytime soon?
I'm not in the company of analysts who think 120 is where dollar-yen needs to be at the moment. Dollar-yen, to me, reflects, obviously, two sides of the coin. It does look as though Japan are going to maintain a very easy monetary policy stance, if not even easier in the next few meetings if inflation stays where it is. But I think what's changed is on the US dollar side of the coin, and we were pricing in multiple rate hikes, perhaps even last year going into this year. That's seriously slowed, and the Fed themselves, according to their dot plot, are predicting just 2 rate hikes this year, and many are questioning whether that's even going to happen. So that differential between those two monetary policies are telling me that actually dollar-yen looks more likely to break down below 110 and head down towards 105 than it would be to get to 120.
Jasper, great to hear from you. Thank you. Well, that's all from me, but for more currency projections, click back to Dukoscopy TV tomorrow for our midweek edition of forecasts. Bye for now.